up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is actually a brand new channel, so I'd really appreciate if you would please give this video a like and please subscribe. As you can probably tell by the title, today I'm going to be diving in of tips I am giving Christian teenagers. So let's begin. So tip number one, and that is don't be obsessed over boys. All right? Completely honest, I had a problem with that when I was younger, and I was probably like 11, 12. I found this one boy and I was like obsessed with him, and I look back and I was young and dumb. Seriously though, although I would love to date one day and I hope to date one day, I look now and I'm learning just to be satisfied of where God has me right now. And actually, since I have let go and I have let God has opened so many other doors that I wouldn't have been able to experience if I would have just kept clean to this boy. For instance, I have gotten involved with ministry, I have made new friends, all kinds of amazing stuff. And so my advice to you is to just not do that. Be yourself, be you. Don't base your entire identity on boys. Don't base your entire identity on pleasing boys, if that makes sense. You be you, be respectful, be kind. I'm not saying be a feminist, no means. That's not even what I'm meaning. What I'm trying to say is just don't feel like you aren't worth enough if you aren't dating. Don't feel like you're an outcast if you aren't dating or anything like that, because you're not. Truth is, there's tons of single women out there. I'm one of them, and honestly, I'm quite honestly, I'm loving it. But yeah, just don't do that. You know, just enjoy the season of life you're in, and if God's will, and if He wants that for you, He will bring that to you. And so yeah, that's tip, or I wouldn't say tip, that's advice number one. Don't obsess over boys. Alright, advice number two, make sure you're spending enough time with God. Could be in the morning, could be in the evening, could be in the afternoon. I personally do it at night. When everyone else is in bed, that's when I feel like I'm alone. Could be any time, whatever works best for you. You be you. Definitely make sure you are spending enough time with God. Not only read the Bible, or make sure you read the Bible, but also listen to worship music, sing along. So I sign along. I'm learning ASL, sign language, American Sign Language, and I'll just sign along to the song, and that's amazing. I'll do that. Me personally, I speak in tongues, so if you also do that, I would definitely say make sure you're doing that daily. Make sure you're spending time with God. Actually, we have a back pantry behind this room, and I've kind of turned to like my prayer room because this room is not big enough. I share with 3 sisters, and so I've got like signs up with like Christian quotes and Bible verses on it. So I'm not saying you should go and make a prayer room, but what I'm saying is just make sure you're spending enough time with God, quality time. Like I pray so many times through the day, but make sure you're actually diving in and having a relationship with them, because that is so helpful, especially when you're entering your teenagers or you've been in your teenagers for a while, and it's just so confusing, so many different things, so many new things happening. It's so important you have a stable relationship with God. Alright, advice number 3, make sure you're choosing good friends. Alright, I have a group of friends, and they are all so amazing. Just because I say good friends doesn't mean they have to be Christian friends. Hear me out. So I have friends that are Baptist, I have friends that are Pentecostal, I have friends that are Christian, I have friends that are actually atheist, and we all peacefully coexist well together. Now, you do have to be careful, and this is what I was warning about. That's what I'm diving into now. Be careful you aren't following the patterns of your friends that don't believe. Like, I would never have a friend that was leading me astray, no matter what they said they believe. Christian, Pentecostal, atheist, no matter what they believe, if they were leading me astray, there's no way I would continue to be friends with them. So what I'm trying to say is just make sure you're careful who you're friends with. Make sure they are trustworthy. Unfortunately, all my friends live really far away. My closest friend lives like an hour or like an hour and a half, so I don't get to see her often, unfortunately. All my friends are online, but even online friends you have to be careful with. Make sure they are bringing you up, not tearing you down. Make sure they are bringing you closer to Christ. And I will say the reason I brought up having an atheist friend was because I do think it's important that we do have friends that necessarily don't believe the same way you do. As long as they aren't leading you astray, that's the key word, and they aren't tempting you, then it's not worth it, obviously. But the reason I have some is, for one thing, they're amazing. They're humans, just like I am. And I also want to impact their life. I also want to show them that they are amazing, and Jesus does love them, regardless they believe or not. And I hope that I am being a positive light to them, and I am hoping I'm ministering to them. I actually have one friend, and he does not believe, but I do see him asking more and more questions about God, and it's just amazing. So, all right, advice number 3, make sure you're careful who your friends are. And that doesn't mean make sure they all believe the same thing. Just make sure they're all affecting you in a positive way. Because anything that takes you away from God is not worth keeping or having. All right, advice number 4. Make sure you aren't comparing yourself to other people. And boy, do I struggle with this really, really badly. Especially since I've come out of an abusive past. My father was abusive. And so now that I'm out and I'm trying to heal, I have a hard time of comparing myself to other people. And I have to really remind myself that it's okay to not be where that person's at, because God wants me here, and I'm trying the very, very best I can. It's a constant battle, and I'm learning, but I'm definitely learning not to compare myself, and I'm definitely learning to just find out who I am. And so that would be my next advice. Make sure you're staying true to yourself, and make sure you aren't comparing yourself to others, because God made you just the way you are, and you are very special. Alright, advice number 5. So, if you're watching this, I'm sure you have some kind of social media account besides YouTube, whether it be Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be. I'm sure you all at least have one other account. And so my next advice would be a positive example for Christ. I'm trying to target an extremely popular revenue right now, which is the shorts. I'm trying to target them, bring it back to my channel, and show them that the root of the reason why I'm standing here, the reason why I'm happy, the reason why I'm so joyful is because of Jesus. That's what my banner is. I think my banner has a Christian verse on it also. And then I also have these long videos I'm starting. I try to throw in lots of shorts of me spreading the gospel. And so my advice is to make sure that your social media accounts are also pointing people to Christ. And this next one, advice number 6, is also really similar to what I was just saying. And it's just going on by saying, continue to be an example of Christ, not only just online, but in person. When I'm at the store, I always try to give a smile to someone who's having a rough day. I try to always wave. I always am respectful, because you never know who may be having a bad day. Actually, a couple weeks ago, my youngest brother, he is 5, we were in line for, I think it was Wendy's. No, it was Dairy Queen. And my youngest brother went and he waved at someone behind him. And the guy got out of the car and he came up, handed $5 to my younger brother and said, "Little man, you have no idea how much you made my day. I've never had someone wave at me, and I just want to show how much my gratitude it is." And seeing that, it's really stuck with me since. And I try to be more mindful, and I try to be more encouraging to people no matter where I go. So just make sure no matter where you go, online or in person, you are shining an example of Christ and His love. Number 7 is to not feel pressured. Okay, I know, I feel pressured all the time. Don't be controlled by pressure. For instance, I didn't get my driver's license up until a few months ago. I'm 17. And so don't feel like you have to do things. Don't feel like you have to go to college. Don't feel like you have to date like I mentioned earlier. Don't feel like you have to do this. Don't feel like you have to go there. Don't feel like you have to think this way. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel like you have to drive immediately, all right? It's okay to be nervous, and it's okay to take your time. In fact, my advice is to take your time on things, because in the end, you'll do better if you take your time. Alright guys, that's it. Let me know if you liked the video. If you have any more advice, please leave it down in the comments. If YouTube disables it, go ahead and just leave it on another short. I'm super sorry about that. Thanks, YouTube. But anyway, you all are amazing, and I'm praying and hoping that this video impacts someone, and hopefully multiple people, lots of people, I'm hoping. Alright, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Bye!